I've gathered most of the supplies here on the table that we use. The first thing we're going to use is these MR16 LEDs. I got a whole bunch of them on Amazon for relatively cheap, way cheaper than you could buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or anything like that. It's just a standard MR16 bulb with 3 high brightness LEDs in it, and then the MR16 plug on the back. Next thing you're going to need is the MR16 sockets. Again, I actually got these relatively cheap on Amazon. They come in MR11 through MR16, and you can actually, the MR16 to through MR11 is actually one socket and just wide spades on it, which will accept both lights. These are specifically the MR16 sockets. They just have copper leads on the other end where the wires are out. Next thing you're going to need is hardware, just a couple bolts, a couple nuts, one to go through the piece of PVC I use and then into the metal that we're going to bend, and then a second one to go into the track that we're going to use. This metal is just pick up at Home Depot, just in 4-foot sections, and we'll drill holes in it. You need a drill. I used a drill press, not that, and then a decent drill bit. This metal is actually pretty easy to bend. I just put pressure and mark the center on it and pull it around the corner. This is the 1/8 inch. It's not the easiest. I ended up using 16th inch for the project. There's the 16 inch. I already drilled this 16 inch one with the drill press. At this point, just insert your hardware. I had already drilled the holes in the 1.5 inch PVC coupler, which is what this is, just a PVC coupler. The light's actually already in it. I've already super glued it in. Really easy to assemble. Once you get the hardware through the PVC coupler, you just put your bolt through it, put the L bracket on the outside, and tighten it with a nut. After this step is when I'd normally install the LED light. I would just set the thing up, run a ring of super glue around the PVC, and then lower the MR16 LED just inside of it and let it set there for an hour to make sure everything is fully sealed before I go install it on the layout. Another thing you will need for the project is a 12-volt power supply. I repurposed this old computer power supply. I had to modify it a little bit for it to work without the computer, but I got all the 12 volts I need. I skipped a few steps. This track on the ceiling I actually already had installed from working on this project earlier, but it's just a cable hide track that you would use for like a TV or entertainment center. All you're going to do is, once it's installed, drill a hole where you want the light fixture, run a bolt through, put the angle bracket through the bolt, and then put a nut on the outside of it to tighten it up. Hold it in place. Running all through the cable track is 14 gauge stranded wire. I just bought spools of red and black to represent my positive and negative, easy to visually see. And then the orange and clear plastic piece there is really just a fancy wire nut. At each fixture, both the positive and negative of the home run wire come out, go into the wire nut, and then pass back out through. And those nuts actually have 3 slots in them, and in the 3rd slot you insert 1 lead of your socket for the fixture, and then all you have to do is put the socket on the back of the fixture and it comes right up if the power's already on. Here's kind of a quick overview of the whole setup. I have the power supply down there. Running up this trough are the positive and negative lines that come across, go into the trough here, and then pop in and out every time you see a fixture. I have more than 15, less than 20 of these little fixtures on the layout. And it's just all the way around, pointing wherever I need. If there's a dark spot, I can add another one and just jump right out of the trough with the wires. This kind of shows the difference it makes on the layout. This is just the room lighting on. Now granted, we don't have fluorescence all the way around because we knew we were going to use LED fixtures, but this is just with the room lighting on. Here I'm going to turn the lights off so that you can't, and then this is the LED lighting on. Here's another good visualization of room lighting versus the LED lighting. This is just with the room lighting. Here I'm going to turn on the LED lights. There they are. That's with the LED lights on the layout and the room lights. And then I'm going to turn off the room lights to really show you what it looks like with just the LEDs. The LEDs provide a lot more directional lighting so that you don't have ambient light all over the room. Now, while we're in there working, we have the room light on so I can see more of the area that I'm working in as far as the aisle goes. But the LED lights are really just pointed at the layout, and it takes attention away from everything else. We also have LED lighting on the lower level of the layout. It's a little bit different style. It's actually just like an LED tape. I think I got mine on eBay. It's really cheap as well. But the LED tape, I've just put masonite up on the bottom of the upper level, ran the LED tape across the bottom level. I actually got the waterproof style so that it doesn't get dust and whatnot directly on the LEDs. And then just ran them around the layout. It's also 12 volts and can run off the same power supply that the other lights do.